4 people were declared dead, then showed up alive. In 1980, a woman was officially pronounced dead after a house fire. 6 years later, she reportedly turned up living under a different name in another state. Investigators still can't fully explain how. In 1990, a fisherman lost at sea was presumed drowned. Over a year later, he walked home. No clear explanation. These aren't ghost stories. Death certificates were signed, funerals were held, families grieved and moved on. Then these people just reappeared. One theory suggests some cases involved identity mix-ups, others remain completely open. But here's what nobody can answer. If they survived, why did it take years to come back? What were they hiding? 4 cases, 0 clean answers. Which one do you want the full story on? Follow for part 2. Here's where things get complicated, and they get complicated fast. The Rhapsody of the Seas was docked at Curaçao by the time the Bradley family realized Amy was missing. According to investigators and news reports from the time, the family notified ship security almost immediately. The ship's response and exactly when and how authorities were contacted became a point of serious contention. Royal Caribbean has maintained it followed proper protocols. The Bradley family has publicly stated they felt the response was slow and inadequate. The FBI was eventually brought in, but valuable time had already passed. No confirmed evidence of a struggle was found in the cabin. No sign of a fall. The ship's surveillance footage, what existed of it, did not clearly capture Amy leaving. According to investigators, the ship's camera system had significant gaps in coverage. A vessel carrying thousands of passengers, and the exits were not fully monitored. One witness, a passenger, later reported seeing a woman matching Amy's description on the docks at Curaçao that morning, being escorted by 2 men. She appeared, according to this witness, either disoriented or under some kind of influence. The witness did not initially understand the significance of what they were seeing. By the time that account reached investigators, the ship had sailed. And then there were the musicians. Members of the band E.P.T., the group Amy had spent the evening with, were questioned. Their accounts of the night's timeline, according to investigators, did not fully align. No charges were ever filed against anyone connected to the band. But the questions lingered. The FBI opened a formal investigation. Posters went up across the Caribbean. The story made national news, and for a while it seemed like someone would find something. But then the leads went quiet, until they didn't. And this is where the story stops making sense. About a year after Amy vanished, a U.S. Navy sailor was on shore leave in Curaçao. He walked into a brothel, a legal establishment on the island, and he saw a woman. According to his account, she told him her name was Amy. She told him she was from Virginia. She told him she had been kidnapped from a cruise ship. The sailor, by his own account, did not immediately report what he had seen. When he eventually did come forward, investigators took his account seriously enough to pursue it. But by then, the trail had gone cold again. That was not the only sighting. In 1999, a couple vacationing in Curaçao, a man named John and his wife, reported seeing a woman matching Amy Bradley's description at a resort on the island. According to their account, the woman made eye contact with the wife and mouthed the words, "Help me." When the husband approached to ask if she was all right, a man stepped between them. The couple reported the encounter to authorities. Investigators looked into it. Nothing was confirmed, but nothing was ruled out either. Then, in 2005, a photograph surfaced online. It appeared on an adult website. The woman in the image bore a striking resemblance to Amy Bradley and had markings consistent with her described tattoos. The FBI examined the image. The family examined the image. According to reports, investigators were unable to definitively confirm or rule out that it was Amy. But the photo was taken seriously enough to warrant investigation. multiple credible independent witnesses, multiple sightings in the same general region, all pointing toward the same dark possibility, that Amy Bradley had not fallen from that ship, that she had been taken, and that someone somewhere knew exactly where she was. Most families in this situation eventually reach a point where they have no choice but to grieve and begin to let go. Ron and Yvonne Bradley never reached that point because they never believed their daughter was dead. For over 2 decades, the Bradleys have done what federal agencies could not sustain the resources to do continuously. They traveled. They followed leads. They hired private investigators. They spoke to the press, went on television, distributed flyers across the Caribbean, and refused, absolutely refused, to let Amy's name fade from public memory. Ron Bradley, a retired military man, approached the search with the same discipline you might expect. He documented everything. He chased every tip. He flew to Curaçao more than once. The family publicly offered a reward, at various points reported to be as high as $250,000, for credible information leading to Amy's whereabouts. The FBI has kept the case open. Amy Bradley remains listed as a missing person, not a presumed fatality. That is not a minor distinction. That is the Bureau formally acknowledging that there is no confirmed evidence she is dead. Human trafficking experts who have spoken on the case over the years have noted that the pattern of sightings, a young American woman appearing in controlled environments in the Caribbean, seemingly unable to seek help on her own, is consistent with how trafficking networks operate. Reportedly, some networks specifically target cruise ship passengers, where the window between departure and dock creates a gap in accountability. These are expert observations, not confirmed facts about Amy's specific case, but they frame the sightings in a way that is very hard to dismiss. So let's go back to that balcony. Ron Bradley saw his daughter at 6 in the morning. She was sitting outside watching the water, completely calm. Within the next few hours, she was gone. No confirmed exit footage, no confirmed struggle, no body, and no explanation that fully accounts for what happened in between. Did Amy Bradley fall overboard? Investigators have never been able to confirm it. The sea conditions that morning were not extreme, and the behavioral profile, a happy, grounded young woman on a family vacation, doesn't support a voluntary disappearance. She left behind her passport, her insulin, her belongings. Did someone on that ship take her? There are people who have been questioned and never charged. There are timeline gaps that have never been cleanly filled. There is a documented history of security blind spots on that vessel. Did the witnesses in Curaçao see Amy Bradley? Multiple independent people said yes. None of it has been confirmed. None of it has been disproven. And that photograph from 2005, the one the FBI examined, has never been conclusively identified or dismissed. Amy Bradley would be in her early 50s today. Her parents are still looking, the FBI case is still open, the reward is still available, and somewhere in the Caribbean or somewhere in the world, there may be a person who knows exactly what happened on that ship on the morning of March 24, 1998, and has chosen for 26 years to say nothing. The case of Amy Bradley is not a ghost story. It is not folklore. It is a federal missing persons case with active leads, living witnesses, and a family that has never stopped fighting. The most disturbing possibility isn't that she's gone. It's that she might not be, and that someone out there knows it. If you have any information about Amy Bradley, the FBI tip line is publicly available, and the family's official search website remains active. The Cold Archive never closes a file. What do you think happened? Tell us in the comments, and subscribe because the next file is already open.